my digit.
Magic. We were just talking about how much you made us laugh yesterday with lemon barley memorabilia.
Keith Lemon Barley.
Keith Lemon Barley.
How are you? We just did, Nadia was just doing a live. I need to ask, actually, Keith, does anyone know what the best spray mount is? I've been sold a pup. I've just used Bostik spray tack, and it can't keep a poster up.
Somebody will know something here.
Yeah, no, I know. Can you please advise me as to what the best, most adhesive spray mount is?
Oh, everyone's raising a glass to us for the last year. Thank you so much.
Chin chin.
And us to you. We feel quite emotional about what we've all been through together.
Absolutely.
Jane O'Neill, welcome. Stay to the end because you will be getting a song.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just find a piece of paper so we don't...
We've got through a lot together here, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
We have been through... Last night, there was a godforsaken programme, and I don't know why, all about the last year.
Oh, no.
Just tracking, I watched some of it.
It wasn't godforsaken, it was like the show everyone was talking about.
No, not that one. I'm talking about the Sky one where they were going through the news.
Oh, I think you're talking about Death to 2020.
No. And it was like, wow, God, Jesus Christ, we have been through some stuff, all of us.
Yeah.
And we've got through it together.
Yeah, a couple of things on that. I just recorded a last bit for Vlogmas. Are you recording a last bit for Vlogmas?
Yeah.
It's sad because I said in my little bit that I feel like Vlogmas for me has worked like an antidepressant. It's made me feel much better. It's distracted. There's been that sense of being able to entertain, share. So bringing cheer to others. It's been really good. And so I'm really worried what January's going to bring.
Well, we will just keep vlogging.
And
That's what we'll do. Can we take this advert off of this unbelievably skinny girl constantly showing me her knickers?
Sorry about that.
It's like running with my side of my eye.
I noticed you seemed sort of very unfocused. Can I just ask, what are these marks on the side of your face?
She was so beautiful.
Oh, I thought there was sudden
probably
liver
bad makeup.
spots. No, I thought they were liver spots. I was thinking, oh my God.
As
my eyebrows expand before our eyes, you're developing...
Oh, thank you, Mayboo. And we feel the same about everybody on here. So it's a two-way street.
Yeah.
We don't know what we'd have done without you. As Mark just said, you know, Vlogmas has helped. You've really enjoyed Vlogmas. I've really enjoyed Vlogmas.
So enjoyed it. I mean, I genuinely so enjoyed it because there has been that palpable sense in the comments coming in, and then the coffee moanings, and then I've just felt that it's cheered. Well, and also it's cheered people up. It's cheered
a bit
us
like
up.
I've always wanted to live in a village. And it's a bit like being in a village, isn't it? If you think about it. It is a bit.
I know what I mean, a digital village.
Yeah.
What should we call our digital village?
Like before the end of this, somebody will have come up with a good glue for you to stick your posters to the ceiling.
I hope so. Anyone who knows
glue.
a really efficient adhesive. I love that word. Say adhesive?
Adhesive.
Do you remember, okay, before we get onto the news, we had a bit of a nostalgic trip through lemon barley and orange barley yesterday. But one of those other things that always captivated me as a child was horse glue at school. Do you remember the glue pots at school? They were a fascinating sort of thing. And you used to get the triangular one with a red top that when you squeezed it, it would bend the lip open. There was a little torn lip in the red top and it would come out. I'd be fascinated. Maybe I was just an aspirant glue sniffer. And then there was the white glue that always came out had a spatula in it that always was hard.
Yeah,
and you'd get it and you'd be like, who left the spatula in the glue?
Like hard bogies, isn't it?
And you'd go to the glue and you'd just be, sort of a sadness would descend on you as you went, I've got to now get the stuck spatula out of the white glue pot.
And I don't want to.
And I don't want to do that. I wish someone else had done it.
Copy decks. Smelt of fish. Oh my God, it's so
true.
dude. Who's that?
Yeah, copy decks.
Toad. Copy decks. Smelt of fish.
And then there was the couple at the back of the class we'd use Tipp-Ex. Do you remember Tipp-Ex?
Tipp-Ex.
And do you remember Tipp-Ex?
Loved a bit of Tipp-Ex.
I loved a bit of Tipp-Ex.
I wasn't allowed to have Tipp-Ex.
Because why, you sniff it?
My mum was really funny about things like that. No, it was just an expense. It was like an indulgence, Tipp-Ex.
Yeah.
So I used to love having friends that had Tipp-Ex. Because I would use their Tipp-Ex.
My girlfriend had Tipp-Ex and she used to use it
Quite
like
expensive.
nail varnish.
Oh yeah, we used to do that on your fingers.
Yeah.
So you do one finger with
and then
felt
she'd
tip,
write
one
on
finger,
her fingernails. She'd write letters like love.
Yeah.
But she only had 3 fingers, so it would be L-U-V.
Claire Smiley, I used to sniff Tipp-Ex.
We used to sniff Tipp-Ex in the back of the class. And it's like you'd know someone had done it because there'd be white Tipp-Ex on the side of their nostrils. And then you'd use it on paper and you'd be so impatient you'd write over it and then you'd get the ink in the light and then it would just swirl up, wouldn't it? And you'd be like, oh shit, it looks like
it looks rubbish.
Right, I'm going to try and put you
It's
back
the most
on...
rubbish thing, Tipex. It's much better to put a line. That's what my mum used to say. Just put a
Tipex.
line through the mistake and write it again.
I'm going to try putting you back on Wi-Fi because 4G is... Look at that, look how we are.
Wait, a weird internet we were on. Never seen that before.
Is that better? Oh, look, isn't it weird? So today it's better on Wi-Fi. Sorry
It just doesn't know what it's doing.
Oh my God, Minky
Who's
Moo.
that? Who's that? Minky Moo, did anyone put Vicks under your eyes to make you cry?
Yes!
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 Oh my God! You see this absolute need, isn't it? It's just an inherent need to use stuff, chemicals.
Yeah. Does anyone else remember TCP?
Yeah.
My nan used to put it on my face if I had a spot.
Yeah.
And it would burn.
Or Germolene. Do you remember Germolene?
That smells like root beer.
No,
It does. It does smell root
smells a
beer.
bit like TCP.
Taste root beer. TCP, my nan would apply it to things and I would scream. If you knew the TCP
Leslie
was
S.
coming
used
out...
to love TCP.
Right. When I knew the TCP was coming out, I knew I was in for agony.
Yeah.
Agony.
Gabrielle, Pritt Stick.
Gargling with
Oh,
TCP.
I used to be so jealous of girls that had a Pritt Stick in their pencil case because again, my mum thought it was an indulgence. Wasn't allowed to have it. Plenty of glue at school. You don't
Even
need
she
your
thought
own
you
glue.
were all sort of had a
She was
proclivity
very,
towards
very
addiction.
strict. She was really strict about being wasteful.
I'm going to ask you, Mum, why did you have a problem with glue? It was a very specific thing
No,
to
it was just a waste of money. She never buys anything just for the sake of it.
God,
you
someone
know.
just said their grandmother made them bath in Dettol.
No.
Really?
Oh yeah, no, that was a thing. You'd put one cap.
Sue would.
Yeah.
That's right. No, I
You'd
remember
put a
my
cap
nan
into
would
the
do
water.
that.
Yeah.
What would that do?
It's not good for you, is it?
Iodine, witch hazel. Those funny things. Nan would put Vicks vapor rub on my chest, and what was really annoying, she'd sometimes put it, like she'd say, she used to put it in. She'd say, "You're going to smell like Hitler." Because she said it's like you need a little Hitler's moustache of it under your nose, and I'd be like, I don't want to smell like Hitler.
What a strange
It's
thing to say to
such
a
a
child.
weird
Honestly,
thing.
nans have so much to answer for, don't they?
She was mental. It's boom, boom, boom. They just put it all over you. So bizarre. So bizarre. Teresa A, thank you for your wonderful channel and all the hard work you do. You are my lovely comfort blanket. Love you. Oh, well, bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Teresa.
Nadia did a really...
Creosote, Millie 1238.
Creosote. I love... my granddad
That used to
loves
make me
creosote.
cry. I hated the smell so much. And petrol.
I once found my granddad in the garage sniffing a pot of creosote.
Did you?
What does that mean? In suburban Britain?
Embarrassing.
No, I'm in suburban Britain. It was behind the pampas grass. He was sniffing creosote.
I once found my mum drinking white spirit.
Drinking white spirit?
No, sorry, methylated spirit.
What, was she a fire breather?
I'm joking, you idiot. Should have been dead.
That's good. Any plans for this weird news? We'll talk about that in a bit. Yeah, I'm going
I
out.
love sniffing petrol, says Nicholas Sinnett.
I love the smell of
it
petrol.
It instantly makes me throw up.
I like the smell of diesel.
They're making me shudder.
I love the smell of diesel. Funny smells. I love
I was
the smell
very.
of tar.
I had terrible car sickness when I was a kid. Terrible. Like
Did you?
we'd pull out of the drive and I'd start being sick. And so going into petrol station, I used to cry with the panic of how sick I was
What
going to
happened in
feel.
your throat
I
then?
don't know.
It was like a sort of earthquake in your chest. It's that small green gremlin about to come out. Yeah, no, and they never seem
Tar on the road, says Mandy Dennis.
That's my
Tar on the
favourite.
road.
My mum apparently used to smell it when she was pregnant. I love tar on the road.
If you've come to this channel for the news, we do get there, but we
Yeah,
like
we
to have
are.
a little warm-up session first
We like a
to
little-
ease us into the horror of the world.
Yeah, it's the horror of the world. Yeah, Nadia's done a really good post about not dieting and food and all that sort of stuff. So do head over there and watch that after this. And I'm gonna do a pre-recorded chat later today. I'm gonna upload it. This isn't, and I'm posting something on Instagram too. This is not for people who can drink healthily, if such a thing exists. This is not for people who are just social drinkers. This is not for people who like a drink. This is not for people who want to have fun and know that they're going to get blasted tonight, but they're not going to have a profound problem for the rest of their lives. This is for people who don't want to drink, struggling with drinking, or have a difficult relationship with drink. I'll be just posting something later.
Or
for people
think
who live
about
with them.
people that are. We were talking about this today. We were saying, you know,
It's a
we were lying in
difficult
bed
day
this
for
morning,
non-drinkers.
and I was saying, I really think you should do something about drinking tonight. Do a film.
Yeah.
I said and he said, oh, but nobody wants to hear about it on New Year's Eve. But I said, but what about all the people that are fairly newly sober, or maybe even 10 years down the road sober? I know we've got people on here that have been sober for 6 months, 3 months, a year, 2 years, and I think it would be amazing to hear you tell your story, your 16-year story, And because there will be similarities there for people that they'll be able to connect with.
I mean, I wasn't necessarily going to tell my full 16-year story, guys. Sorry, before you kind of oversell what I'm going to do later. I'm not going to sit here and tell my 16-year...
No, but you're going to do a chair, aren't
but
you?
I'll do a chat about some of the dilemmas that are thrown up by something like New Year's Eve, because I think there's many sorts of dilemmas thrown up by New Year's Eve. Not just about other people drinking. I love other people having fun and all that sort of stuff. But I think New Year's Eve is a really pressured time for everyone, regardless of what their behaviour is around drink or anything, drugs or food or whatever. It's a really challenging time. And after the year we've had, I think it's going to be a challenging time in a different way. I think lots of people are going to want to kick back far more sort of meaningfully. And what I mean by that is kick back in a more extreme manner, because it's been such a shit show of a year. I wouldn't blame most people for that. But I think we also have to keep an eye on the fact that it is a totally notional construct at the end of the year. And it doesn't observe addictions, it doesn't observe mental health, and it certainly doesn't observe viruses. So, it's an artificial construct that we've constructed for ourselves. It has a lot of pressure that comes with it. And really, it's going to be a chat for those people who feel the pressure. Whereas for those of you who are looking forward to your Zoom parties and all that kind of stuff, I would just head off and do all that shit and come to me in the morning.
I'm having a little Zoom with Kay and Jane late this afternoon, just to have a catch up. And I'm going to be doing a Skype with Lisa. So we're going to film it for you guys, and then it can go into tonight's vlog.
There's going to be the last Vlogmas is going to go out tonight. But also, as a little treat for you all, I have little sort of just shards of vlog that are still remaining, and I'm just going to drop them throughout the day, like little farts.
But we're going to put Lisa's up today.
Well, I think Lisa's can go into
tonight's vlog.
Whatever goes out tonight that's of today is going to be the last of Vlogmas.
And then we'll just be into vlogging.
It's going to be the last time we see those little gingerbread men, because next year they become adults.
They do?
Did you know that? They've been little children, teens, but next year it's adult gingerbreads.
Can I just quickly read this out because it makes me smile? From Laura S. Have you ever coloured in a hole in your tights with a black marker?
Yeah, I want to show it.
Oh, because I want to read Celine. And Selena Lou Frog, we see your name here all the time. And Selena says, the day I found your channel over a year ago was life-changing for me. You're my daily constants and never fail to make me smile. Thank you. And we always see you here. And same back. Yeah, all we can say is same back.
Same back.
You guys have got us through 2020, I'll tell you. I could not bear to think what 2020 would have been like without this channel for us.
Oh my
God.
us.
Actually think about it.
No, I can't, and I'm not going to.
I can't.
No. Emma McGregor has pulled you up on the fact that you said you were married for 17 years when we've actually been married for 18.
Thank you.
One day she'll get something right.
Sorry.
Something right. It would be so nice if you got something right.
That's not very nice.
Our anniversary.
Okay, list some things I always get right.
But not my tea.
One thing that I always get right.
Okay, well, moving on. Moving on.
It's a little shit, isn't he? Right. So I think we should do some news, because some people will have come just for the news.
I think if they came for just the news, they've gone.
They've gone.
Yeah. So come back! I wish you could shout from social media back out there. Critically ill patients are being evacuated from London to other parts of the country as London potentially could run out of beds. Now, this is a frightening story to read as a Londoner, because, of course, this doesn't mean, as long as you're observing all the social distancing and et cetera, we've heard sort of terrible stories of people that we know through other people who are really struggling with this COVID. We don't want to get it. No one really wants to get it. And I think we've forgotten that in our charge for the vaccine and in our charge for, having Christmas and New Year's Eve. No, but I think but I don't even think it's like a willful forgetting, and it's not even a selfish forgetting. I just think, it's like
it's a human need to just sort of water it down a bit, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think there's been almost an over-promotion on certainly platforms like Twitter of this is no different to flu, and actually you were listening to a surgeon today or someone who's working in A&E.
No, a consultant ICU doctor, and I don't know if any of you heard him. He was on 5 Live this morning, and it was a very scary picture he was painting.
Are challenging.
But the most important, a lot of what he said was very important, but I don't really want to repeat it because it was quite scary. But he did say anyone who is not wearing a mask has got blood on their hands, and it's simple as that. Last week I was in Sainsbury's and I saw multiple people without masks. And they were all big, burly men who obviously thought they were being really macho. And I was just talking to Dina on the phone actually, and she said, "Oh, I'm so cross." She'd just been somewhere, Lidl or somewhere. There was people with that. She said, "I'm so cross, and the security people don't do anything." I said, "Well, let's just get a handle on this. Actually, how much does a security guard get paid to go up to a big angry man who thinks he's a macho moron and tell him to put his mask on? Is he going to put his mask on? No." But he's going to stand in your face shouting at you. So I understand why security guard. I wouldn't.
But also,
I bloody wouldn't.
But also, I heard a similar testimony from a bus driver in Bristol on the radio the other day, and he was saying exactly the same.
Yeah,
He has
scary.
absolutely no support or any. There's no protocol for how people working in these public arenas can, help people enact their wearing a mask. And Sheila Fogarty on LBC was saying the other day she was on a train coming into London. And as she was coming into London, the inspector on the tannoy could see, obviously on CCTV, all the people that didn't have masks. He individually identified everyone that didn't have masks and said, "We are not moving this train until you put your masks on." Oh. And she said, he's a hero. The guy on that tannoy is a hero because...
But then he's also safe because they can't beat him up.
Well, he's safe, but equally, it's about who is willing to make step that extra yard. Now London's the Metropolitan Police. I mean, people were asking what we're going to do for New Year's Eve. I've got my ticket to an illegal rave. I'm heading there.
The illegal raves are massive. Can I just say welcome to the Peach 72? I can see a lot of you welcoming Peach 72. Stay to the end because we will be singing you a welcome song.
Yeah. There's all sorts of if the police need a heads up, there's all sorts of illegal raves happening apparently on the South Bank in central London. So
not just the South Bank.
Not just the South
all
Bank.
Over the place.
No, all over the place.
They are popping up on Snapchat. Apparently, it's £12 and £20 a ticket, and it's just petrifying. But I think they'll all get closed.
But the Metropolitan Police have said, it's interesting because in other parts of the world there are strict stipulations about not going out, curfews, all that.
What's our Prime Minister done? Could you not meet up?
Would you mind not going out?
Come on. Do you think that's going to be enough?
Would you mind not going out? Now, the question I want to ask you guys, because you like a binary question, guys, is do you think the vast majority of people are going to observe the rules? Yes or no? And I don't mean us, because we are. But do you think the vast majority of people are going to observe the rules, or do you think everyone's looking for a way to nip round the back?
I don't know what the question is.
Are most people tonight going to break the rules?
I don't think most people are. I think some people are. I think a lot of people are very worried now.
Well, the vast majority of people here think that they are.
Really?
I'd say it's about 65,
Cumbria's full of holiday makers. How
Is that still in
annoying for you
tier
in Cumbria. I work in a shop and I'm not allowed to question people about masks or say anything to anyone, but we are not allowed to due to what might happen. Yeah, exactly.
Susie Bulmer, you say younger people will.
Amy, well, sending you love. I think people working in shops at the moment really are going through bloody
really
hell.
Hardcore. Yeah. Susie Bulmer says young people will. I would go so far as to say I think there's going to be, given the fact that we're celebrating Brexit, I think there's going to be a lot more sort of middle-aged, middle-class, very sort of righteous people.
I think a lot of young people will be out and about tonight. I really do.
But I think a lot of middle-class righteous people are going to be indoors.
Having dinner parties.
Sort of pulling into people's drives and bringing a bottle of Prosecco and sort of, don't tell anyone. I want to know what happened to the 200 Swiss skiers who eloped.
Well, they weren't Swiss, they were British.
No, they were British, but they eloped from a Swiss resort, didn't they? Illegally, or against quarantine rules anyway.
Terry Ann Butler. No, enough of my friends on... Oh, sorry, we've lost you. I couldn't work out whether you were saying that they are or they aren't. You'll come back up again.
When they're right on the edge there, it does ping right up.
So hard, honestly. It's shameful, Laura S., that people are so hard-faced to post on social media, non-social distancing, mixing, etc. It's awful. Angers me so much. A lot of celebs do it too. There's I was seeing on Perez's Instagram, I think it was today, there was a massive group of these celebs that all get together and they were all partying, like, proper, like, dancing, and then posting it. I mean, it's just beggars belief, really.
So, Faith Goodman, you mentioned something that actually stuck out a little bit to me yesterday, listening to all the various bits of news. I literally have news on the radio, I buy papers, I'm listening to it all the time. It's soaking in. But Faith Goodman, Matt Hancock said yesterday, he did in the House of Commons, that he was proud of the NHS and that actually it's a functioning element of the NHS that patients should be transferred all over the UK. He said this, when he said this, I thought, you absolute, excuse my language, fucking moron. That is not, it might be something you can do, but it is not an aspiration of the NHS.
No.
The idea that flying someone in critical care from London to Yorkshire is the NHS doing what it does is patently absurd. patently absurd. I mean, I think to say that...
But not every hospital can be a specialist hospital.
No, but at the same time,
devil's advocate
to use that as a rationale not to either, do whatever else they need to do. I mean, for example, I know there's a new advertising campaign coming out today about, coronavirus loves crowds and all that kind of stuff. I think they needed to be a really strict stipulation tonight. I think they needed to be an instruction, an order, a curfew. I mean, I really do, because my worry is tonight. This is could be the last. What we're seeing in the numbers, nearly 1,000 deaths yesterday. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, that's the Christmas number."
No, it's not.
Not yet. It
the
isn't.
Consultant ICU guy that I was listening to on 5 Live said it's not.
Yeah.
We haven't got it yet. He said we're exhausted. It's been a tsunami again. It's just. And he said, let me be really, really clear here. He said, because I think the message has got mixed here. He said, yes, we have this variant. But we haven't got the numbers that we've got in hospital because of this variant. We've got them because of people.
Yeah.
He said, because people aren't doing what they've been asked to do. And he said, that's why we're overwhelmed. It's not the variant. He said, the variant is no more vicious than he said, it's just people not wearing masks. And people not social distancing and people not washing their hands. He said he had delivery people coming into the hospital yesterday without masks on. How'd you get into hospital without a mask?
But that needs to be the message that needs to be doubled down on, is the fact that more now than ever before do that, because we've all got, they just wash over us, literally, don't they? Distance, wash hands, mask. It's like it needs to be rammed into our faces.
Ventilate.
Like this is. I mean, I'd go even so far as to say it needs to be mandatory masks for the next just 2 weeks. We're talking about temporary measures. This is when I hear people or see people on Twitter going on about our civil rights and it's a fucking plot by the government to kind of overwhelm everything and it's all a plan. I wish they were a bit. I wish they were a bit stricter, because it's none of those things.
But what nobody can ever answer is when you say that is, why would the government be pretending?
Oh, it's just nonsense.
Why? Why would any government run their economy into the ground? It's just madness. It is here. It's vicious and it's dangerous,
Nikki,
and we have to be careful whether we like it or not.
I want to home in on Nikki Thompson's dilemma, because I think this is a dilemma of the length and breadth of the country for parents. Mark and Nadia, my almost 18-year-old, says he might be going out tonight. It's his best mate's birthday. What do I do? If I say no, it will cause a huge argument. He knows I'm not comfortable with it.
Well, that is really hard.
Really hard.
Really hard.
Yeah, I mean, we're having. It's like with the kids. It's just like you cannot, under a certain age or over a certain age, they fall beyond your jurisdiction to some extent.
I'm just so glad that Maddie's just told us that there are raves going on and hasn't said I'm going to a rave.
No, absolutely.
She said, I couldn't think of anything worse than going with a load of people that I didn't know. But it's a good question. What would we have said to her if she said, I'm going to a rave?
Yeah.
I suppose you've just got to appeal to him. You've got to just say, listen, I'm really frightened that you could bring the virus back here, and that the worst case scenario could be that I end up in hospital. I don't think it's a good idea to say, I could, I'm scared of dying, or I think that's a bit too much to put on kids. But say, I'm really, really frightened. Is there any way that you could not do this just this year? And I promise you, I'll treat you and your mates, come April. But I'm actually you're frightening me that you're going there. Or indeed, could he go and then stay with his mate and isolate with his mate for 10 days afterwards? So that you know that you're safe. It's really hard. It's really hard.
Obviously,
I feel so sorry for young people.
Yeah, it's a dilemma. But once again...
Have another crumpet, Ian. Have a crumpet for me, please.
But
I'd love a crumpet now.
We as humans, we're really weird, aren't we? We get really hung up on these kind of anniversary events. And I'm saying that as a guy who used to really, really relish the prospect of getting annihilated really early and quickly and consistently on a New Year's Eve. It's a great night to just go, I have permission socially. And it's an interesting point, actually. I'll mention this in my chat later. We are given permission to blow out on New Year's Eve. Socially. It's like, yeah, come on, everyone.
Laura S, I think so. I think it's a great ad.
Which one?
The green breath.
Oh, yeah. I think about that a lot when I'm in supermarkets.
So if you are having people over tonight, it's not our business whether you are or not, keep the doors and windows open. Because then you give yourself a chance.
Yeah.
Crumpets and Brussels pate.
Wow.
Oh, Brussels, as in liver pate. Sorry, I think I meant Brussels. Brussels sprouts.
Has anyone got snow? I see a couple of people saying they've got snow. I was going to talk about the honours list in a minute. just to distract us from the horrendous news. Did someone just say it snowed here? It's Miss One Trisha. Where do you live, Miss One Trisha? It snowed there. People out playing without masks or distancing is staggering. What are they thinking? I'm scared of catching it.
Maybu, Tesco worker said loads of middle-aged people buying lots of party food and plastic cutlery.
That's really good detective work. What are people buying at the tills? That's what I mean. I think we're gonna obviously point the fingers at the young, when the not even the middle class, but the middle-aged people are going to be cutting corners and going around the back and in the garden all over the bloody country. I'm telling you now. We ain't going to see the worst of the numbers until 10 days from today. Do you remember, guys? Do you remember me saying this moment is going to be far worse than any other moment in the crisis, and it's almost already there.
Oh, look, Reese Roberts sharing with you their favourite films.
Oh,
we're going to be doing a top film.
We're doing top films.
We haven't seen that. Uncut Gems.
We have. Popcorn Junkies have.
Soul. Tenet.
Waves. You saw Waves. Soul. We started.
Waves.
We're going to try it again. Tenet. Seen that. Lovers Rock, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Mangrove. Oh, I've seen quite a few people have said that these Small Axe films by Steve McQueen that we still haven't managed to bloody sit down and watch.
Maybe we could watch them tonight. Why don't we watch them tonight?
Yeah, the Small Axe films. Well, I think we should home in on those two. Lovers Rock and Mangrove. And Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, obviously, is Chadwick Boseman's. But thank you, Reese Roberts, for the starting gun. For the starting gun of the top 10 films. And a couple of yours are probably going to be in my top 10 too. But we're going to do that as soon as, obviously, we can get Nanny Di back, because she wanted to go back home. So she's celebrating tonight at a flat. What was I just saying before that? Snow. Has anyone got snow? I keep hearing it. Oh, it snowed in the Midlands. There you go. Right, it's snow in the Midlands. Lovers Rock is amazing. Yeah, I keep hearing that. It's almost like an abstract film of dancing. Apparently it's just really, really quite something.
Diane Blake, I'm so jealous that you live in New Zealand. 5 million did as we were told. It had to be that way. Now, apart from not being able to travel overseas, our lives are back to normal. But people still being aware to stay safe.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder what do you think the new normal is going to be? I mean, I know we keep talking about... did you notice how the government said April the 5th? That's kind of conveniently the end of the tax year. April the 5th, everything's going to be fine. Well,
they didn't say that.
They did.
Boris
Johnson said by April the 5th, I think we'll be back to normal. It was
tied up to the end of the tax year.
It was so strangely specific.
He's an idiot. We don't listen to anything he says.
April the 5th. What about
what
if it's March the 22nd?
He's still weebling and wobbling around whether we go to... People are still going back to school. I mean... The scientists are like this on their knees. Please go into lockdown, and he's still...
He did say that, didn't he, Julian? Thank you, he did.
Wibbling
it was
and wobbling.
So specific. It was so bizarre.
Oh, my God, I can't believe
so
it.
April the 5th, everything's going to be great.
God.
So what do you think the new... I suppose I'm assuming that come October next year, we're going to have, all being right, and if you were to trust the news, we'll have... herd immunity coupled with the vaccination process, so that's a critical part of gaining that herd immunity. And we will have a relatively normal process of being able to go on holiday, a return to normal, But do you think everyone's going to be behaving normally? Do you think there'll be a resurgence of unsocial distancing behaviour? Do you think we'll go the opposite direction? It's like, now we're free, we can all love each other and just go nuts? Or do you think there's going to be constant caution?
I think there'll be a portion of society that still feel very nervous. I mean, look at SARS. The leftover of that is that people wear masks quite a lot, don't they?
Certainly at the risky time of year, they do. Yeah. But do you think restaurants will ever get back to that carefree, open a bottle of wine or lean all over each other, throw stuff at each other?
I think so. Maybe not this year, but I reckon by next year.
Yeah.
Just depends how many people take the vaccine.
Yeah. I'm going to keep being nervous, I think, says Nicola Randall.
Yeah, it's going to take some time, isn't it? We are all a bit Stockholm syndromed with it.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's have a look at some of the New Year's honours list. Craig David, who you went on your Kenya trip with, you loved him, didn't you? He has won an MBE. Sally Dinaver, is that the mother of...
The girl in... Bridgerton.
Bridgerton. She's got an MBE for her work in a soap. MBEs for
I think she's done a lot of work because she had breast cancer, didn't she?
Right.
She had breast cancer as a character, and then she got it.
Yes.
And then she's done a lot of
Wow,
fundraising
okay,
for
okay.
that as well. Yeah.
Damehood for actress Sheila Hancock. Hot.
Oh, she's
I'm
brilliant.
a
Do you
big
know
fan
she was
of
a
Sheila
loose woman
Hancock.
for a while?
Was she?
Oh my God, she was so fascinating. I loved it when she was on. Fascinating, stroke terrifying.
Former EastEnders actress Nina Wadia picks up an OBE, while Academy Award nominee Leslie Manville is made a CBE.
Ooh.
That's quite something. Toby Jones, who voiced Dobby the house elf and has been in many, many other things other than Dobby the house
Good
elf.
God.
What a way to describe him. Gets an OBE. Screenwriter Jed Mercurio, he gets an OBE, writes Line of Duty and The Bodyguard, which was great. Formula One world champion Lewis Hamilton is Sir Lewis Hamilton.
Good God.
There's that, Boris Johnson stepped in to ensure he got the gong. There you go. Does anyone feel that it's a lot easier these days to become a Sir? I'm not suggesting what he's done is he definitely deserves it, but do you know what I mean? Do you
I
think
don't know. I never really think about it.
do they have
But
any?
these things don't affect. I mean, I just don't think anything of
Do
them.
they have any cachet? Do you think? Do you think about them? What would you do if you were approached with an
I mean, I
OBE?
do feel quite strongly that some of the people that I know, I mean, like Linda Robson, for instance. Linda Robson has raised millions for children with cancer. She is a proper hands-on. Her and her whole family, to the point of stuffing envelopes and everything. And I do think, she really should get some kind of award, and she would so appreciate it. But I think when I don't know people, I am very distanced from it. I don't really ever. It doesn't really mean anything to me, does it? You?
Not really.
Not really.
No. I mean, if I'm honest, I find it slightly a sort of strange
random.
overhang from the empire. I mean, it is order of the British Empire and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of kind of. It is quite odd. It is. There was a very interesting interview between Owen Jones, the journalist on the Guardian, who
famously
quite
walked out.
famously walked out, but he's grown on me massively over the years.
Yeah, me too.
He was chatting with Michael Sheen, the actor, about Michael Sheen giving his OBE back because
to give a knock.
Yeah, to give a knock because of the Britain's treatment of the Welsh. And there's a great tradition, isn't there? I think Vanessa Redgrave hurled hers back. Guys, would you accept an OBE? I mean, obviously, there's lots of people who are sort of coronavirus heroes who... I'm trying to find them, actually, because they're just homing in on all the sort of celebrities at the moment. We've got... let's have a look. I thought there were quite a few people who'd worked tirelessly within the coronavirus crisis.
I think, there does seem to be... I don't know what the ratio is between celebrities and
there's usually more sort of civilians, for want of a better expression. God, it's terrible. I can't find them. But yeah, lots of here we go. Nurse Lynn Greaves will receive a British Empire Medal. She 231 in COVID battle hailed. Wow. A fifth of the gongs went to medics, care workers, and public sector workers. Nurse Lynn Greaves, who moved into her care home to help residents, gets a British Empire Medal.
Bless. And so many of the care workers did that.
Yeah, so many. Who have we got here? This is a retired cop, Mark Owen, made an MBE. I just want to shout out for these names because we always hear the celebrities. A BEM, I don't know what that is. We'll also go to palliative care nurse Kath Fitzsimmons. She lent her 40 years' experience to the fight in Salford at Greater Manchester. Head of nursing, Carol Doggett.
And she moved in.
Yeah, accepted
for
an
12
MBE
weeks.
on behalf of staff and intensive care patients in Swansea, which came under significant pressure. I mean,
when you think of all the health workers and nurses and stuff that were kept away from their children, so their children to their grandparents and stuff, so because they were so worried. I mean, not seeing your children for weeks and weeks and weeks because you're worried about bringing back the virus to them. Oh my God! I mean, such commitment.
Yeah. A couple of people saying I wouldn't accept it. I just want to home in on this topic of the word empire because I know there was a chat before the Empire's
Nigella
list.
Lawson turned it down, did she?
Oh, did she? Empire is to remain. The word empire will not be removed from the honours list because there was a sort of clamour to try and get the word replaced with excellence.
Instead, yeah.
I kind of understand that, but I'd be interested to know how they justify it. When there's such sensitivity around what the British Empire did and all that kind of stuff.
Gabrielle says Lewis doesn't pay tax. He shouldn't be a Sir.
The Sun says for too long the honours system. I think that's why he's been passed over for many years. The Sun says for too long the honours system has been used to butter up celebs and massage the egos of time-serving nobodies. So it's brilliant to see that 1 in 5 on this New Year's honours list are everyday heroes who went above.
That's what you
that
want.
is good. That is good. Well, there you go,
There
guys.
you go. Well, I think we need to do our welcome songs to
Oh,
our
absolutely.
family guests.
Well, this is very much Nadia's preserve, really. I
it's not.
chime in at the side in an awful. So we have Jane O'Neill. Jane O'Neill.
Oh, Neil.
Jane O'Neill.
Oh, Neil.
This is a really odd bit that goes a bit drum and bass. Jane O'Neill, Jane O'Neill,
Jane O'Neill,
Jane
Jane
O'Neill, Jane
O'Neill.
O'Neill,
No.
Jane O'Neill,
O'Neill.
Jane.
Jane O'Neill.
Takes a weird.
Welcome to the family guest area.
Yeah. The Peach 72. The Peach
72.
72.
The Peach 72. The Peach 72.
Do your kind of.
The Peach 72.
Do you?
Oh, Peach 72. Peach 72.
Peachy! Oh, this is a good one.
Welcome.
Carol King.
Carol King. Carol King.
1911. 1911 was the year you were born.
Carol King.
1911.
Carol King.
I'm assuming that's not the year you were born because that would make you 109. But maybe you are 109, Carol King.
Sophie R.
So far. No.
Sophie R.
Sophie Ha. So far.
Sophie.
So far.
So far.
So far.
So far.
So far.
So far.
So far, you're so far, so far, so far, so good, so far.
Well, you're doing
so
well for someone who sits
far.
on the sidelines.
Welcome, seriously
so far.
welcome. There is a new Sunday show. We'll be landing this Sunday at God only knows what time.
We're going to do the cooking for it today. Somebody cooking for it today.
And have a lovely rest of the New Year's Eve. As I say, there'll be a chat going up about struggling with alcohol if you're a problem drinker. If you're not a problem drinker,
We
don't
are
come.
going to do a live on the main channel as well, but we cannot tell you yet because we don't know what we're doing. We don't know when we're eating.
We might be playing games with the girls. Well, we are playing
do.
games with the girls and all that kind of stuff. So
But
we just want to work
I'm
around
trying
that.
to get them to convince them to play a game of Pictionary, but they might not want to. They might be Zooming.
Yeah.
So we'll let you know. We will post on the stories on here, and I'll post on my Instagram what time we're going to do it.
Yeah, Jenny Man. It won't
When's
be a
the drink
time.
talk?
I will probably head
Who's
off
gonna
and
upload that?
record that in the next hour or so, and then we'll upload it as soon as I've done it. But I'll pop something on the community page so you know. But guys, we're going to finish the vlog today as well, Vlogmas. There'll be little vloggy bits landing. So I've got quite a busy day actually, if we're doing also the Sunday dishes.
Well, we don't have to do the Sunday.
Well,
we could do one.
Yeah. But this is the kind of conversations we have. This is the chatter that will go on as soon as we finish our live. But guys, thanks for me, what was the most meaningful discussion about glue. No one has told me what the
It was
strongest
lovely to take a
adhesive
trip
is.
down memory lane again with Tipex.
Tipex and glue and adhesive. But no one's told me what the best
Spray glue.
spray mount glue
We
is.
need to ask.
I'm
I'm going to ask Keith.
I've put it into Google and
I'm
it
gonna
says
text Keith.
3M90.
Oh.
Yeah. But Gorilla Glue. But it's spray mounting stuff and sticking it to walls.
Apparently Nanny Di is here. Hello, Nanny Di.
Nanny Di! Sending
Nanny
you love.
Di.
Oh, Nanny Di. You've arrived a bit late, darling. PVA is the best smell, actually.
Oh, I don't know. It's a bit fishy.
Okay. Oh, it is a bit fishy. Why is it fishy?
A little fishy.
I hated it when I
little
discovered
fishy.
why horse glue was called horse glue.
3M is good stuff, somebody said.
Oh, that's the one I was just saying. Oh, good. Okay.
Who's that from?
Claire Thorogood.
Claire
Thorogood. Thank you for
Hit the thumbs up
yeah.
if you've enjoyed this little soiree with us.
Yeah, when I heard what horse glue was, it was horrible.
All right, well, don't tell us then, because
Yeah.
we've got enough horrible things. We
All
don't
right,
need to
okay.
know about horse glue.
All right, guys, lots of Nanny Di. Sorry, but you can scroll back and you can watch us talking about glue, Mum. It's really,
It was
it's really fascinating. Lots of love.
Bye, guys.
Happy New Year's Eve.
Peeling PVA off your hands. Who said that? Oh, that was
Yeah.
such a
Yeah, it
good
was like-
thing.
it was like a horror
Anita
film.
Peel.
Yeah.
Oh, we loved that.
Anita Peel.
I
That's
might
funny.
do that
Yeah.
later.
Anita
I
Peel.
might find some PVA and rub it on my hands and then peel it off.
Oh, nice.
And then you'd see your fingerprints, wouldn't
Yeah,
you?
that's great. Yeah, that's lovely. So we are going live later, so we will see you later. at
See you
some point.
later.
All right, guys.
Bye.